Hey everybody, welcome to the TT Buzzard channel. It's a little chilly today. I'm chilling out here in the greenhouse, staying a little bit warm, but I came up with a super cool centerpiece idea, and I think it'll work good for any holiday party, Christmas party. Put it on your dining room table in the center, the buffet table, wherever you got going on. It's a cool little centerpiece. I haven't seen it done anywhere else, and I came up with it, and I did have a party of my own and tried it out, and a lot of people thought it was super cool. So it's unique and different, and it'll really grab people's attention. So I think you'll enjoy this one. Stick around and I'll show you, and hit that subscribe button for me to stay up on the latest. All right, let's get to it. So some call it, if you're a culinary grad like me, you call it garde-manger, but in this case, we're going to call it garden-manger. But, so you ever get rainbow carrots, or you plant them and then you get this, and there's just a real imbalance, like you get a lot of white carrots in there. It's crazy how that is, but nonetheless, I have a lot of white carrots. And it seems like even when you go to the store, you get a lot of them too. But anyways, we're gonna process those down. I got a cool little trick with those. And this is some floral wire. So we're gonna use this, and then skewers. And that's pretty much the hardware, maybe a little light. I got this little light from the dollar store. And just a few odds and ends, but everything else is pretty much basically, produce or something edible. And we'll just start cutting into these carrots. You could use parsnips, by the way, which is, I'm sure most of you have seen a parsnip. It looks like a carrot, but it's white. So what I'm doing here is making these little birch logs. So these will resemble a birch log when I get done with them. But you want to try to make them as even as you can, if you can. And I got this stuff from Walmart. I could not find, it's a little decorating gel, but I did have a black food coloring you can use. And this might be better, I don't know. We'll try it out. I might thin it out a little bit. So you just take one of your skewers, sharp end. Let's see what it does. I think I can work with this. So basically, a birch tree, it has these little markings on the bark. It's primarily white, and I've never used this gel on here. The food coloring worked well. But maybe, like on a birch tree, these little nubby spots are hollowed out. So maybe there was a little branch or something when it was younger, and it grew there and it left that little kind of scar on there. But it's very beautiful. Birch trees are one of my favorites. But just kind of go horizontally with these things. Now you don't want to smudge these. Don't smudge them if you can help it. But what are you doing, Prince? Prince came here for moral support. He likes helping. He's a little bit chatty today, but stand them upright, let them dry out a little bit. And I might use like 3 or 4 of these. I don't know yet. Just showing you how to do these. A little indication here and there. Little distress signals, or whatever they want to call these on the actual birch log. But I've not seen this in anywhere online, the normal places I look. I'm not going to say I invented this, because every time I think I invent something, It's already been done, but if I am the first person to do it, even better. But I just thought this was a real cool idea to share with everybody. Very simple, fun little crafty kind of thing to do. You know, there's a little bit of artistic ability involved. And it's just a fun thing to do. Much like the food coloring, if you look too close, it has like that greenish tint to it. And that was the one thing after a couple days. These actually look more green where the marks were, so keep that in mind. You'd want to do something like this last minute. Yeah, there's just nothing to these, you know. They don't all have to look the same. It could be a dot, it could be a horizontal line, it could be a little off center, whatever, just a little indication. You put a little on the end where you cut it. But these are nice little birch logs in the end. You know, I was actually going to do something more crazy. I was going to actually buy birch logs, and they were like $30 for a bundle, and I just said I couldn't afford it, and so I kind of came up, that's how I came up with this whole idea. So this is what I'm going to do, and you can do whatever you want as far as a base. But I have this gold plate. I'm going to put a little green in underneath, and I got some coconut, and we'll just kind of put it all around. Don't want to cover it all up. Just a little hint of green in there to make it more festive. But if you were to use powdered sugar, it would just dissolve and make a big mess. So the coconut provides a nice little base. So we're going to get a little adventurous and try to make these bundles out of this birch, you know. Don't want to mess up that, so we have the cutting board. Don't mess up your hard work. So we have 2 of these all together. These little floral wires. They're good for tying things. You could use a twine or, I don't know, rubber bands if you had. Whatever you got laying around. Ribbon. I tried it with the ribbon. It was a little bit of a struggle. Look at that. Isn't that nice? I think 3 is going to be cool. Yeah, I'm going to leave it alone at 3. Like I said, I had food coloring and I left it at the party. Forgot all about it. And then I went out to the store today and could not find black food coloring anywhere. So I had to come up with another little idea, and that was this gel. Which, by the way, the gel isn't drying, so we all know that. It's kind of, just don't want to dry, so keep that in mind. If you have the food coloring, it would have been dried on there, not making a mess. But anyways, we got to get these as tight as we possibly can. Just to be on the safe side, you can cut these, or in this case, I'm going to tuck them underneath. So here's what we learned. It works, but it's also a little problematic, as you can see. So we're going to have to go back in and just touch it up a little bit. Just touch it up. Just go off of what you see already. If you got a little area with the gel, just kind of go back, touch it up, and yeah, might have been easier just to tie them up, bundle them first, and then put this on. But like I said, I didn't know that, and we're all learning together as we do these things here. So that's our little foundation. We might use these still. If a real planter, they'd be using evergreen trees and shrubs to make, you know, the little cuttings and arrange them however. So we're doing it with edible stuff. I have dill, green kale, they call that red kale. Looks purple to me, but we have some sage, some thyme, and rosemary. You can use whatever you like. So anyways, I took the kale and just cut little pieces off, put them, the red kale on the edges and then the green here. So the center, we're gonna want the taller stuff. And we've got dill here. Pull the branches apart, scatter, mix them in, something like that. See how you got all these textures? Pull these down. Actually, what we'll do is we'll kind of level these out to where we want them. We'll balance them out and we'll go ahead and just cut it at the bottom. Just kind of stuff these things in. It'll look like something. Just stuff them in all around. Like I said, there's plenty of stuff to use here. Just kind of stuff them all in there. Got some rosemary. So I took all these herbs, brought them together, kind of scattered them around so it's, you know, not one cluster or one thing. Kind of just fluffed it out a little bit, and we'll go ahead and cut the base. Easier if you have a nice even base. All right. So I just added a few more pieces of dill since I had a lot of it. So now I'll take that floral wire and tie this tight. Anyways, I got a zip tie started here, and this will definitely reinforce it much better. So anyways, we'll cut that off. Let's cut these more evenly. What we'll do is we'll adjust it if need be. We have a couple little logs left, if you recall. There we go. All right. So if you do it that way, it'll stand up. All right. So I got these skewers. We're going to cut some of them down in length. Get yourself some nice little cutters and cut them. We'll have them all different lengths. I don't need them to be identical. So a little variance in size is what we're looking for. Here comes the fun part. These are some fresh cranberries. Be careful you don't jab yourself, but poke those through. I had a hard time finding cranberries. I went to 4 stores before I finally found cranberries. Basically, you just poke it right into that carrot. My skewer will go right in there. Just kind of poke these in the carrots. You obviously want to have balance with these. And do any last minute adjustments. And I think we'll do another couple skewers. All right, so I got 5 of these. And put that one right down the center. All right, so I balanced that out a little bit better, and there we have it. You know, you can add a couple of things. I got these little plastic little ice looking things. I have one of these little LED lights that just kind of changes. So we'll tuck this little light thing in the jigger in here, and it changes colors. All right, so make any last little adjustments before you send this on its way. And I'm just gonna touch up that birch bark. Just touching this birch bark up. I think a couple more finishing touches here. I feel like putting a little more of this rosemary in there. I think this is a real winner, this one. And just put a couple sprigs like that in front of the logs there. Put a couple cranberries here and there. All right, we did it. It's super cool. Very festive looking. No one's bringing this to the party more than likely. Each one's gonna look different, so yeah, let's make this thing trend. I mean, this is super easy. Anyone can do it. It's super cool, very effective, and just put that right on the center of your buffet table, your dining table, whatever, and you'll get some oohs and ahs. All right, well, I hope everybody enjoyed this. Take care. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next video.